for the season finale of season 2, you chose to be here with me instead of staying at home and fucking your wife.
Okay, no, I'm going to have it all because we are recording right after lunch. My wife won't get home till 4. We have Teddy until at least 7, and then I'll be home, so I can have it all.
Am I like your appetizer?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the love nanny, remember?
I am. I can actually work with being an appetizer because that's really going to set your body up for the proper digestion.
You are a snack.
I'm a snack. Yeah, I am a. What am I like? Your kale salad topped with pecans.
My somehow vegan spinach artichoke dip.
You can make anything vegan nowadays.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean,
we couldn't make that brie that Bailey brought.
She felt
vegan.
so bad about that.
Oh my goodness, she felt terrible.
Yeah, but I felt really good about that episode.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I feel really good about this episode.
Oh, I'm super excited.
Yes, it's the last one of the season. Mm-hmm. We're so excited you guys are here today.
Yay!
My kid is now fast asleep. I can pour myself a glass, but too many shows on Netflix are trash. It makes me wanna pass. I can't figure out what to watch. What am I supposed to do? Let's get drunk and rewatch cartoons when we were little dudes. Whiskeylodeon.
Ty, why are you so? You look so happy.
I am happy. I get to hang out with my best friend. I'm going to later fuck my wife. And
that's a pretty good recipe.
It is.
Yeah.
And we have a delicious recipe. We watched an awesome movie.
Yeah, we're going to talk about as much of it as we possibly can today.
Yes, absolutely. So we are covering the Wild Thornberrys, the movie.
And that was 2003.
I believe 2002, 2003. It was somewhere in there. It was somewhere around there.
It was a hazy era of our lives.
Yes.
We were just coming off of the
hormones.
I was going to say the grandeur of puberty. I think 2003. What would that have put us at, Ty? 6?
I would have been 15.
Oh yeah, we were well past puberty at that point. Because boys hit puberty at 4 years old.
Yes.
As we know with your child.
Know. Oh my goodness. This kid.
I mean, you told me a story before we started recording. And I think it's time we go ahead and just dive right into our favorite segment of this podcast that we call The Teddy Report.
So there's actually a lot of stories, a lot of Teddy reports I want to give, but I'm going to give just the one. And it's probably the one that makes me the most happy. So Teddy's at a Christian daycare, and so sometimes he'll start singing like these little churchy hymn things, and he starts humming one while he's just in his little play kitchen, and it took me a while to recognize the tune. And the tune is, yes, Jesus loves me. And it repeats that. And then it's like, because the Bible tells me so. But that's not what he was saying.
What was he saying?
He was saying, yes, we will have cheese. Yes, we will have cheese.
He's dedicated.
Yes, we will have cheese, 'cause the Bible tells us so. And I was laughing. And it's really kind of funny because I started singing that to him. He goes, that's not the words, Daddy. I'm like, they're my words now.
You're like, you're the one who fed me these lyrics.
You're the one that inspired me.
Yeah, I will sing it now. You're welcome.
That is forever the rendition I will have in my mind.
I mean, I'm not an avid reader of things.
No.
The Bible, we don't know that it doesn't say you should have cheese.
We don't. You're right.
Yeah. So he could be just playing the avant-garde card.
He could be speaking from the mouth of babes.
The mouth of babes?
Yeah.
Is that a Bible thing?
That is a Bible thing. The truth will come from the mouth of babes.
The truth will come on the mouth of babes. Is that what you said?
Something like that.
Oh God, no! What did I just say? I should read more. Oh no! Oh, don't worry, folks. This is the last one of the season. You can listen to your G-rated podcasts wherever you get them.
Wherever you get them.
Please leave us at least a 1-star after this. Have we downgraded? How are we doing? How are you?
Oh, how are you guys?
Oh, Well, that's hilarious. I think your son is turning into a little comedian.
I think so too. I think he's getting sassy just like my wife. He's getting demanding just like my wife. But he's also just hella hilarious and super goofy. And I'm like, this kid's got a future.
He's feeding you great material for your upcoming book.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah, it's been a minute since you've talked about this book. How's that coming?
Well, there's progress being made.
Still the same title?
On We Don't Say What the Fuck.
Okay.
And then Your Kid's Not Awful, or Your Kid's Not Evil, just awful.
Your Kid's Not Awful, Just Evil is the sequel where you realize you totally fucked up on that first book.
That's when you have your second one. You're like, oh no, this one is evil.
This is straight up Satan, baby. Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
Beelzebub. Well, I'm looking forward to those audiobooks myself.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And we got to talk about this cocktail, man.
Yo.
So because we're covering a jungle-themed movie, we were like, we should make like a jungle-themed whiskey cocktail. And immediately Sean was like, oh, prickly pear.
Yeah. Cactus.
Because that's
in the desert.
jungle. But it did inspire. So we actually have what we are calling the Jungle Whiskey Highball. So we have, of course, our ride or die whiskey, Henry McKenna.
Yep, he's with us.
He is with us always.
Always.
We have a soda that took me by surprise. It's a fermented pineapple soda.
I can see you want to reach for it. Yeah. What you got there?
And I did. So this is the Big Easy Tapache. And you actually... Oh, we somehow grabbed the wrong one.
Ow.
What I had was the prickly pear lime.
Oh.
What we somehow have in my hand is the strawberry hibiscus.
So that's going to be next round.
That will be our next round.
That sounds delightful. I think that's going to be just
really
as good.
does. So, but we not only do we have that soda to mix in, we also added some beet juice for some red color.
And that beet juice, to be fair, had apples, carrots, ginger, spinach, and lime.
And orange.
I think so, yeah.
And then we even added a dash of ginger juice.
Mm-hmm.
And
That did it.
Oof, it's so good.
That was the thing.
It is so good. I'm so excited. So this is our jungle highball. And you should make it and have it and enjoy it. And then let us know how you like it.
Yeah. It's really fun to look at. I don't see this lasting through the first act of the movie we're going to talk about today.
We're probably gonna have to make more, and that's okay because now we got another one. We got a strawberry hibiscus pineapple soda.
Next.
Yeah,
that's next.
That's next.
It's glorious.
That's glorious, and we also have our side piece of Henry McKenna.
Yeah, my lips are doing some fucked up shit this week, Ty.
You want to break that down?
I took that time away from drinking, and then I reintroduced alcohol, and then my body was basically like, "Hey, kindly go fuck yourself." and my lips are unable to stay hydrated no matter what I do. So I've been taking good care of them. One thing I've done is like a salt scrub, and that's good. You don't want to overdo it, but I did a little salt scrub, and that's going to kind of like remove that outer layer, that little epidermis on your lips, your lipodermis.
Your lipodermis.
In science terms speak. Your lipodermis.
That's in science lip speak.
So, yeah, it's your lipenderm. And basically that's non-existent. So I took my first sip of just our side piece, and there's a good burn, and then there's a lipoderm burn. And that lipoderm burn is no fern.
And that lipoderm burn was no fern. And you were singing. Like it was... You were singing in pain, and,
right.
and I was originally thinking you were having this great idea, like, oh, and I was like, oh, what's your idea? And you're like, no, it was not a good idea.
Well, and then you were like, what do you mean the whiskey's on your outer lip? I'm like, I don't know. Have I been drinking wrong like my entire life?
Do you need a straw?
I mean, yes.
And then he was like, do you have one? And I looked, and I was like, oh shoot, no, I don't.
So now I'm just coating my lips with whiskey. That way, that acts as the outer layer. Guys, this is just science. This is just how that works. So that outer layer of whiskey, I think, is protecting the whiskey that is soon to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's science, bitch.
That's science. All right. All right. So you can look it up, but why when you have a podcast to listen to?
Exactly.
Why facts?
And why try to make science out of what could just be magic?
Soon they're going to be telling us cactuses don't grow in the jungle.
Soon they're going to be telling us the scientific reason of how Eliza Thornberry could talk to animals.
Yes, exactly. Don't.
Don't.
And you're going to say that Jesus, Gouda, Christ said, don't eat cheese in the Bible.
Yeah, don't. If you show that, I'm going to think that you're just a hypocrite and full of heresy.
Yeah, exactly.
And there will be stoning.
People will be getting stoned. All right?
I mean, they're getting stoned now, but there will be stoning.
Jesus Christ, how have you not sponsored us by now?
We love you.
Well, Ty, this movie, I want to know how you felt about it because I watched it and I loved it.
This was the first time I've seen it.
Same.
I loved it.
Yeah, I don't think I realized there was a movie till maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, when I would talk about the Wild Thornberrys, and I love this show.
Absolutely.
And so to have this movie, I'm like, oh, this takes it to another level.
It really does. Yeah. Well, I know you got some fun facts up your sleeves.
Oh, I do.
Up those that owl shirted sleeve.
I do. So of course, this was based off the Wild Thornberrys show, which was created by Gabor Supo, Arlene Klasky, and Steve Papoon, who also wrote the script.
Yeah.
And so, as far as fun facts, this is the only movie based on a Nicktoon to be nominated for an Oscar.
Really?
Really.
I find that surprising.
It got nominated for Best Song for the father-daughter song, whatever it was.
Was that an original?
That was an original.
Oh, that was really sweet. It
was a very sweet one, yeah.
I heard it and then I was like, wow, those lyrics like almost made me tear up.
It did lose to the song. It lost to 8 Mile, to Eminem's song.
No, Ty, it just didn't win to 8 Mile.
Okay, fine. It didn't win.
Yeah. If you get nominated for an Oscar, are you really losing?
This is true.
Also, 8 Mile, that's a great song.
Also, there was a sequel planned, but it was abandoned in favor for the Rugrats Go Wild movie.
I never saw that. Wait, was that the second Rugrats?
Yeah.
I think I only saw the first one.
Where they went to Paris?
Was that the first one?
I think it's the first one.
That sounds right.
Yeah, because there's Rugrats Go to Paris, there's Rugrats Go Wild, and then I feel like there's one more.
The Rugrats take over Stu's creepy basement.
Oh, and that's when we get a whole bunch of other stuff.
It's basically iRobot 2. Like, I think Isaac Asimov wrote that one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad there wasn't a sequel to this one. It was so wrapped up perfectly.
Well, I feel like if they did a sequel, it wouldn't be tied to this one. It would be its own separate story, as it should.
Sure.
But no, like Disney, or not Disney, holy shit, strike me down. Nickelodeon.
Jesus can. He's full of cheese right now. He's sleeping.
Nickelodeon basically did a Wild Thornberry jungle movie, a Rugrats jungle movie, and a Hey Arnold jungle movie. It's kind of like they gave all of their monsters a jungle movie.
So many cactuses in those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good theme.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one makes sense, though.
Yes.
Like, and we'll get there. The fact that we see some non-jungle stuff in this movie was actually kind of cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But could you imagine this movie being Eliza has a 9 to 5 and is underpaid?
Oh, that'd be so depressing.
Yeah. No, we don't need that. We need jungles.
You know what was also just a little depressing?
There's a lot. There's some stuff that we're gonna unpack in here that's a lot of depressing.
Okay, well,
but what are you pointing at?
As far as depressing, as far as just the movie in general, I was really sad. In this movie, Nigel doesn't say his catchphrase, smashing.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
But for what he doesn't say in Smashing, he makes up for in Mumsy.
Oh, I do love Mumsy.
I know. Yeah, I'm probably gonna change your name in my contacts.
I'm probably gonna start calling my parents Mumsy.
Yeah.
Mumsy and Colonel.
And Colonel. It's beautiful. Mumsy and Colonel.
Fun fact. So we'll get into it. The Colonel is actually Nigel's father. Mm-hmm. Both Nigel and his father are voiced by the same voice actor.
Oh, who is that, Ty?
Tim motherfucking Curry.
I know.
Oh, my
now,
gosh.
I did not know that the dad, his father, his Colonel was the same voice actor. Tim Curry is a legend, dude.
Oh, he is my heartthrob.
Yeah.
I love him.
Is he working on anything now?
Ooh, let's double check. So he's currently working on Dragon Troll World Chronicles as Necrofer the Deathbringer.
That sounds very Tim Curry.
That does sound very Tim Curry. He's also come back. He's done like Rocky Horror Show, the live stream theater. Let's Do Time Warp again. So he's been in a bunch. But then I guess the last big thing he had, where it was recurring, was he played Darth Sidious in the Clone Wars TV series.
Really?
Really?
Man. You know, I know he's known for playing very well for playing villains. So the fact that he's Nigel Thornberry, the furthest person I can ever think of for a villain, and we already knew he had range, but like this just like expands that range.
This range had heart.
Yeah. He might be my favorite character in the show.
He's definitely up there for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he says Mumsy, I'm like, dude, yeah. It's so good. Well, that's great. He brings a lot to this movie for sure.
He does. And they all do. They all kind of come in pretty heavy-handed and just, we're going to crush it with what we got.
I was worried that they were going to sideline some characters.
I mean, they kind of
do
sideline with like Donnie.
Donnie gets a little sidelined. So does blanking on her name, Mother, not Mumsy, Marianne, a little bit.
I mean, ish, yeah.
But I was most worried that Debbie would get sidelined because she has a negative edge to her. You know, she's that teen.
She's the one that's annoyed with her sister,
and they do not do that whatsoever.
Oh no, they bring that full circle.
Absolutely. So, should we just dive in?
Let's dive in, man.
Okay.
So we start off, and it starts off in the typical Thornberry fashion. There, our mom and dad are filming. You got Eliza, who's just running around with the animals, with Darwin behind her. You have Debbie just sitting there like, I don't want to be here. And then you got Donnie, who's, of course, torturing her by putting his butt on everything.
That comes full circle.
Yes.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. And so we cut to Eliza finding the cheetah cubs and just loving to play with them, which I'm kind of like, yeah, I want to play with cheetah cubs.
Absolutely. Yes.
And then you get the mom, Akila, I think is her name. And she's like, oh, hello, Eliza. And it's very much like, hey, we want to keep playing. And I'm like, well, no, it's late. You should stay. And Eliza's like, oh, no. I'll be with them. They'll be safe. And the mom, Cheeto's like, all right, fine, but don't go past the tree.
She actually goes into her James Earl Jones voice there. She goes, Simba, you see the Shadowlands beyond. And she says, and I quote, don't fucking take my children there.
She does say that.
I'm sure that
word for word.
Yeah, word for word. I watched it last night. It's fresh on my brain bone, Ty. Yeah. I've had a lot of cheese before this. Don't question my science.
And of course they're running and they literally just pass the tree, like not even like 10 yards. And they hear a gunshot. And suddenly they're all like, oh shit, what's going on? There's poachers. And somehow, just because they crossed a tree, a helicopter's now going straight towards them.
Yeah.
And you see a poacher snag one of the pups, Tally.
For reasons.
For reasons
Beyond the tree, we don't know. But
yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. It does its
mom
role.
said don't do it. Listen to your mom.
Yeah.
Listen to your mumsy.
Listen to your mumsy.
Yeah, even if your mumsy's a cheetah. Listen to your cheetah mum.
Especially if your mumsy is a cheetah.
Yeah. What are you guys doing? Listen to your cheetah mumsy.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to start phrasing it. Like, not even just mumsy. It's like, hello, cheetah mumsy.
Cheetah mumsy. Don't even give context.
Yeah, I won't.
Yeah, let me know how that goes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah, I mean, so they go past this tree.
Yeah, just barely.
And yeah, the helicopters come.
Yes, but Eliza isn't taking that sitting down. So she's trying to get everyone to run. And as soon as she sees Tally grabbed, she runs after them, gets on the rope ladder, starts trying to climb up, and then gets like pushed down. Then you get the mama cheetah mumsy coming in hot. Like Lily climbs in and starts slashing at the guy's shoulder, which...
Yeah, she jumps way up.
Yeah.
As a cheetah mumsy can.
And
gets one good slash on Mr. Poacherman.
Like how he did not like get thrown off that ladder at that time, I have no idea.
Well...
But he survives.
Yeah, well, he super survives.
Yeah,
it was like it didn't even faze him.
Yeah, it was like I just scratched the shirt. It's like, oh, you ruined my favorite shirt.
I do wonder if like poachers are kind of like used to that.
Maybe they're wearing like Under Armour or something like that.
Probably some kind of like
Bulletproof.
cheetah mumsy proof vest.
Okay.
He had some pantaloons on that.
Yeah.
That you know
prevented his soiling from being smelt.
Yeah.
If I have a cheetah running at me, nope.
Nope. You throw catnip down.
Yep.
And you say mumsy cheetah mumsy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But she kind of falls off.
Yeah, she falls off. And of course, Eliza is still like trying to run. She climbs up a rock formation and climbs into the ladder. Now, that gunshot let other people know what was going on. So you have mom and dad now like, oh, there's poachers. And so they're racing off too. And when they see that Eliza's on that rope ladder, they're not like, oh no, she's in danger. They're merely like, we need the caravan. And so they call Debbie. And Debbie, so Debbie kind of got grounded by Mumsy.
Do we see her get grounded, or we just?
I mean,
I believe it. She's
grounded. Like, hey, stay with Mumsy. And Mumsy's like, you're grounded. And he's like, what? Why am I grounded? And so she's like, well, I can't help. I'm grounded. And Maria's like, bitch, do what I say.
Yeah.
And of course she starts driving, and Mumsy's like, what are you doing? And it's like, hey, mommy said, bitch, do what I say. And so they're driving, and we'll get back to Mumsy in a little bit.
We'll get back to Mumsy. We always go back to Mumsy.
But as we're going through, the caravan comes in. You get Nigel jumping in and setting off like an inflation on top of the van, which is pretty ingenious to have that.
This was like an action film.
Yes. He literally is going from, what was he in the motorcycle?
It was the motorcycle with the sidecar.
Yeah.
I guess he's in the sidecar, crawls across the front of the motorcycle part, and then
jumps into the
into
bus.
the RV,
the RV, the caravan, the van, whatever it is. He basically goes from
let's just call it the Mumsy Mobile.
The Mumsy Mobile.
That'll
he
be
goes
the
from
RV
the
from here on
sidecar
out.
to motorcycle to Mumsy Mobile.
Mobile.
And so of course they're trying to make sure they're getting underneath Eliza in case she falls.
Right.
And so Eliza's sitting there trying to stop this poacher from taking Tally, and she notices this falcon dagger. And so the poacher ends up flashing a light in her face, so she can't get a good look at him, but she got a good look at the dagger. And then he finally climbs up on top and starts sawing off the rope ladder. And at that point, she falls onto the van. They then stop, and they're like, okay, you're safe.
But she falls onto the van after Nigel had hit the switch that creates an inflatable.
Yeah, he basically inflated the
like
top
a crash
of
pad.
a little crash pad on top. And then because that wasn't enough, he ends up extending the canopy so that she rolls onto that.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And so they stop. Yeah, it was brilliant. I'm like, wow, you guys got like Inspector Gadget like down pat.
Yeah, they're ready for any situation.
Yes. And of course, they're all kind of freaking out. It's like, Eliza, that was like so unsafe. You could have been so hurt. And she was like, but I have to save that pup. That pup was in danger because of me. And that's when you get Mumsy.
Yeah,
I have some feelings.
It stresses you out a little bit.
Because I loved Mumsy. But here she is trying to parent for Nigel and Marianne.
She does more than try. She does.
Oh,
she straight up just crosses that line.
Eliza needs to go to boarding school. And Debbie, first I was like, you're going to boarding. Wait, what? She makes one mistake and she goes to boarding school?
Yeah, Debbie wants nothing more than to
out.
be free of this lifestyle.
Yes. She wants to be back in the city. She wants to be able to be with friends, to see boys, to have clothes.
She starts acting like an animal.
Yeah.
To try to get the same punishment. And then Mumsy, do you remember what she said?
He's like, you're too old for boarding.
Well, she goes, it's too late for you. It's too late for you. Oh man, if anyone ever said that to me, I think I might actually cry on the spot.
Yeah.
Like it's too late for you. In anything. Like tell me something that's too, like just
ask for something.
I would like for my backyard to have a trampoline.
It's too late for you.
See, that hurts.
It hurt me just to say that to you.
Because Ty, friends are a lot like trampolines.
Oh.
I always wanted a trampoline.
That broke my heart just to say it to you.
Yeah. You heard it here first. Ty stripped me away from my trampoline wants and needs. See if I change your name to Mumsy.
Try that new. I make one mistake.
Makes one mistake. So she crosses a line there, but mom and dad are pretty much just gonna accept it.
Well, because at one point, like Marianne's a tough bitch, and she, at any normal circumstance, was like, that's my child, kindly fuck all the way off.
Yeah.
But she's now terrified for her daughter.
Yeah.
Because now she's seen her daughter do something super reckless to save animals, which she's like proud that her daughter's willing to do.
Because she's never really, like, it's all happening off screen in terms of
In
her
the
point
show.
of view, right?
Yeah. Or, okay, yeah, you're talking about that.
Yeah, like, I mean, we see it as the viewer, but...
Because that was the other thing, too, is that Debbie finally snitches on Eliza. It's like, oh, well, she was doing this, and she did that, and she did that. Like, she snitches, and that bitch is going to get stitches. So she snitches, and so it's not just like, oh, hey, no, we're not going to do boarding school. Now she's seeing a repetition of Eliza is continually doing dangerous things, and she wants to. Her mother instincts kick in. Her mama bear, her mumsy instincts kick in. Her mumsy bear instincts kick in, and she wants to protect her daughter. And she's like, "Look, I want you to stay, but if I have to send you away to protect you, that's what I gotta do."
And you get a sweet conversation from Nigel and Marianne when they're getting ready for bed, and they said, "We promised we'd never break up the family."
Yeah.
For doing this adventure. So it's really, it gives you some insight as to like how this is even happening.
It lets you know how hard it is on them. Mumsy don't give a fuck.
Mumsy doesn't give no fucks.
No fucks at all.
That was a double negative. A double Mumsy. Double Mumsy sounds like a really good hand.
Nothing.
Like if you play poker and you'd like throw a double Mumsy, yo, you just won the pot. Or did you?
I got a poker story I got to share.
Oh, you got a poker story?
I got a poker story.
Wow. Oh, no. You look like you don't want to tell it, but you also do.
Well, I had to tell it because it was one of those things where I thought I had a straight, and I didn't. So it's like...
All right, for our listener who is not keen on poker, a straight is...
basically 5 consecutive numbers of cards. So here I am. And it's our friend's birthday, and so he's doing like a big poker tournament at the Comedy Zone, actually. And so we have basically split off into 2 sections of 8 teams. And so we're basically going through, and I make it to the semifinals. And so we're playing poker, and we're going through, and then I have a straight, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to take this all. So then he tries to raise me, and so I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go all in.
Because you know you got the best hand.
Yes. And he was like, all right, I'll go all in. And so he gives like 2 pairs. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got a straight. And I just throw it down. And he's been looking at it. He just was like, damn, good job, man. And I started grabbing the stuff, and someone else in the crowd who wasn't playing was like, wait a second, that's not a straight. And I looked down, and I thought I had a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had a 3, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's like losing twice.
I had such confidence because I believed it myself.
Hey.
That, like, literally the other person didn't even bother to look. He was like, damn, you got me.
The confidence part is sexy.
Oh, right?
And then it immediately just had to get
as someone
wiped away.
Blew the smoke away.
Yeah. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Right?
Yeah. You were going to go to the finals.
I mean, I was going to win. I think it was like $200 I was going to win. And then I just gamed it all by not.
Think of the whiskey you could have purchased with that.
Oh my goodness, I could have gotten such good whiskey.
And this is a good moment to ask you guys to donate to our Patreon. Because, listen, Ty would love to win poker tournaments.
I will never gamble anything we get from Patreon. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Just throw it out there.
We won't gamble your money. We're going to buy whiskey with it.
Yes. Your money, if you donate to Patreon, would go to upgrading our equipment so that we don't have any technical difficulties. It would go to bottles of whiskey, and then like an actual like producer / editor so that we can do more.
We are looking to build a team. So
Yeah.
if you're listening and you say, hey, you know what?
I want to help them out.
Those guys are so fucking weird. I want to be around that. I want to be the podcast Mumsy. We might need that.
Yeah. You can email us at whiskeylodeon.podcast@gmail.com. And we'll buy you a drink.
We will. And, you know.
You
maybe-
do have to, well, you got to be in the Charlotte area in order for us to buy you that drink. But still.
Yeah. To
regardless.
listeners everywhere else.
We'll give you a recipe and we'll drink on camera and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to be part of us, give us an email, shoot us a message, talk about how you like the show, leave us a 5-star review.
He asked for 5. I asked for 2. Meet in the middle.
Okay, 4.
We still round up. We round up here. We had our TI-85 calculators earlier.
Yes.
We know how to math. Well, so where are we now? Basically, I guess we're at the point where she's going to get flown back out to England.
We don't even see her get flown out. She just, okay, well, before we get there, Darwin ends up leaving. Darwin ends upset and he walks away and never came back that night.
Right.
And so at that point, they're now trying to head out, and Eliza's like, I can't see Darwin
and this
anywhere.
whole time, we should add, she has to keep this a secret that she cannot talk to animals.
This is true.
She can talk to animals,
But she can't tell human.
anyone. She can't tell humans. Right. So we'll come back to that.
Yeah. So we are now at Lady Beatrice's boarding school.
I don't know why I hate that name so much. Lady Beatrice?
Yes, Lady Beatrice.
Nothing wrong with either word. I think it's the boarding school that makes it for me.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, same. If I went to a boarding school, I'd be really sad.
Yeah. That's it. Just sad.
Like, I don't even like, I would kill because that just seems wrong. But I would still be very sad and demoralized.
Yeah. Wait, was Dead Poet Society, was that a boarding school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every painting of a boarding school seems bleak.
Yes.
I've never been, so I don't know. I just don't quite understand it. I mean, it seems like pop culture paints it the same way in every show.
It's bland, unseasoned, and for rich white people.
Yes. Wow, succinct. See, we have peaked at the ultimate episode of our finale of season 2. We know how to say words in 1 to 2 of them.
Well, this boarding school kind of gave me some vibes, and I want to see if you have the same vibes.
Okay.
Because here we go, and of course, Eliza is the new girl, and everyone, of course, is already friends and clicked, and just kind of like we're going to talk about this girl. Oh, is she new? Ew, what is she doing? And
we have to assume that she's kind of being enrolled mid-year.
Yeah.
This is not the first day of school for anybody.
Right.
Except for her.
Exactly. And this was giving me Mean Girl vibes.
Yeah?
Because we get to a point where she meets her roommate, and of course her roommate's a total snob.
Yeah.
And that's when you find out that Darwin actually snuck in through her suitcase.
Yeah.
And he is loving life. And so she ends up going to get dinner. And so these girls come in and they find out she lived in the jungle. So then one girl is just trying to be like, oh, do you miss playing with your cheetah friends? And she was like, actually, yeah. And then I was like, wait, what? You played with cheetahs? And she was like, yeah, and I got to play with these like polar bears and this. And they're like, what? And so they all come and like want to hang out with her and hear these stories. Just like they did, like, wait, you lived in Africa? Shut up. And that was kind of giving me those
it's like a keen
Girl
interest.
Vibes. Yes.
And it gives you some, like, it humanizes them a little bit.
Yeah, because it's very much like, oh, this is actually super interesting. Please keep talking. Mm-hmm. And so you get her roommate was like, oh, Eliza's making friends. My friends. And of course she sits down and she's like, hey, bitches, why wasn't I invited to this party? And then we get to sassy lady Darwin coming in wearing her outfit, grabbing food.
It actually took me a second to realize who this person they were introducing was. I was like, oh, is this like a new... Oh, no.
No,
it's Darwin.
It's Darwin. And of course, he's just getting food. He is acting nonchalant. He even sits right by Eliza, like nonchalantly. And she doesn't pay attention. Like, she doesn't notice until she just happens to glance over. She's like, Darwin, what the fuck? And so, of course, she's like trying to hide him. Yeah. Under gritted teeth. Mm-hmm. So she starts trying to hide him. And of course, she's getting like really weird and uncomfortable. And then you have like some person was like, who is that beside her? Because Darwin is just shoveling his face.
And she keeps like throwing some kind of partition up in order.
Yes.
So that nobody can see what's really happening here.
And then her roommate Sarah sees that this person is wearing her jacket and she is having none of it.
What'd she say? That's my sigil? or whatever.
That's my monogram.
Monogram. Like, Monogram is the boarding school of Royal Time sigils.
Yes.
Yeah.
She goes, "That's my monogram." And so, of course, she tries to grab it. And then she realizes it's a monkey, which it's a chimpanzee. I feel like that would have been a little degrading. But Darwin can't understand her.
No, of course not.
And, of course, like, he's trying to run away and ends up, like, splashing food in her face.
And the way they start this, because we know it's coming, food fight.
Yes.
But I think the girl says something, just one girl gets hit in the face, and then instead of saying food fight, it's like the most proper introduction of a food fight. Like, it's like let's all throw food in a fight or something. Like, am I butchering it?
You're butchering it, but I don't know how to actually. I'm trying to remember exactly what she said.
I remember cackling when she says it because it just wasn't how you would.
We're in for a food fight.
It was something like that. Yeah, it was like that's not how you would incite one. Ty, I don't mean to interrupt the podcast, but there's a very cute kitten in my carport.
Oh. What is that kitten doing in your carport?
He's just licking his toe beans.
Oh,
yeah,
cute little toe beans.
It's like he knew that we were recording a little podcast about the Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah,
that's the cub that is hopefully going to get rescued later.
That's Tally.
That's Tally. Tally's here with us.
Oh,
that's a sign.
That's a sign.
Yeah,
this is a good sign.
That's a great sign. Well, this food fight happens.
Yes,
and what comes of it, Ty?
Well. Depressing.
What comes of it? Pause. Depressing.
Because not only does Eliza get in trouble, but Darwin gets thrown into the horse stable.
He gets straight up thrown in horse jail.
Yeah. And so he's got to hang out with Thunder, which we got to talk about Thunder. Because they're like in an English boarding school, but Thunder's
not very...
is a Scottish horse.
Yeah, he's not English.
He's Scottish. And oh my goodness, I fell in love with him.
Yeah, he's great.
Because she's like, "Run along, little lassie. I'll take care of him." And it was very much like,
well, caretaker.
Yeah. And of course, Darwin's like, "Well, I need a hot bath." And I'm like, "Oh, well, maybe we'll get something later."
And he's like, "I'm hungry."
Oh, good. We're going to have hay and possibly some rolled oats.
If we're lucky, we'll get some goddamn rolled oats.
And Darwin's like, "Well, that changes everything." Being sarcastic. And so, like, we get to the bedroom, and of course, you have all the girls there waiting for Eliza, and they want to hear more stories. And her roommate wasn't invited. Her roommate's not there. So she comes in after filing some report, and she's like, "I wasn't invited to this." And she's kind of pissy about it. It's like, "Well, I'm tired, and you all need to leave."
Yeah, like, fuck off.
Yeah, and all of the friends heard about Tally, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta do a bake sale. Who do we write?" Like, it was very much like Upper White. Like, here's how we solve problems.
It was sweet and also very detached from reality.
Yes.
So like I want to judge them for their intent,
and I'm not gonna judge them because they're trying to. I mean, they're
were being
girls.
genuine. Yeah,
they were genuine. They wanted to help, and how they knew how to help. Bake sales. And I want to bake, so I would be down for a bake sale, but it's like that's not gonna help.
Bake sale helps in the way that at least you get some banana bread.
Yeah, you just feel a little better after
Speaking
banana
of,
bread.
when we take a break, Ty, I think we're gonna pair banana bread with our cocktail.
Do you have banana bread?
Surprise! Yeah, I do.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I feel like it's very on brand for this cocktail.
Oh, it'll be fantastic.
I wanted to wait because I wasn't sure, but I've had enough of it at this point. I've actually been drinking more of my side piece because I really need to coat those lips with that whiskey. Science.
Science. It happens.
Yeah. So, their intent was pure. They're trying to help. And they all get kicked out of the room either way.
Yes. But finally, Eliza goes to bed. And what's really funny to me was like literally they're getting ready to go to bed. And she's like, "Well, I'm just glad that monkey's not in this room." And then she gets in her bed and there's peas all over her bed.
Not pee. He has peed the bed, though.
No. There's a bunch of peas.
I know.
Oh, fine. He peed in the bed.
He actually peed the bed with
and
peas.
she's like, "What are all these peas?" And Eliza's like, "Good night."
I love that. And if you think about it, wait, what's the roommate's name?
Sarah Wellington, I think.
Sarah hasn't actually done anything wrong.
Well, no, she's been a prick. She's been very rude.
She's been rude. But as far as if you connect these dots, she has just been
Sarah Wellington.
Okay. Well, her life at boarding school just got interrupted by this girl who came from far away and has had this primate steal her outfit, wear it, get food all over it, and then she invites all these people into her home without her consent. I'm like, you know what? Okay, she kind of sucks as a person, not defending that. Then she gets peas all in her bed, and then Eliza's like, fuck you, good night.
You're right. So the only thing she's done wrong is that she's a prick. She actually hasn't, like, done anything particularly wrong.
Which sometimes can be enough for people to want to, retaliate, but... And I'm not siding with Sarah Wellington.
But you're giving her... Wellington, yeah. You're giving her humanization. You're giving her, like, hey, here's some grace.
A little bit of grace.
Because she does come in clutch.
I don't want to have tea with her. I don't want to hang out with the bitch, but hey, you're not completely in the wrong.
Yeah.
We see you, Sarah Wellington.
We see you, Sarah Wellington.
On the screen. That's it.
And so she's having this spirit dream, and she realizes that Tally's alive because Tally's there. It's like, hey, help me. And then she sees Shaman Mbambo. Myambo. Nyambo. That's my attempt at pronunciating it.
Yeah. We're at the 40-minute mark.
Yeah.
We have whiskey in our lips.
Yes.
Whiskey in my lips and on my lips and on your lips.
And in my lips.
How did it get there?
Shh. But yeah, he's like, I gave you this gift to help. You need to help. And it was very much like, hey, I gave you a gift because you were going to have responsibilities. I need you to fulfill those responsibilities.
This is your destiny.
Yes. And she's like, how do I get there? I'm stuck here. And he's like, you're going to have to figure that out, bitch.
Bitch, figure it out. Bitch
end. And so finally she like wakes up and she's like, oh, I got to figure it out. So she starts packing and Sarah's like, the fuck are you doing? She goes, well, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go help save Tally. And so she's like, hey, can you buy me tickets to Africa? Now, mind you, they're in England. And she's asking for tickets for Africa. And of course, Sarah's like, bitch, I don't owe you nothing.
Right. I'm going to report you.
Yes.
And then that's where I retract everything. I'm like, oh, she sucks.
Well, I mean, again, she's technically been wronged. So to be like, hey, you're now asking for thousands of dollars in plane tickets.
Oh, she did ask for her to pay for it, right?
Yes.
And she'll pay you back?
Yeah. And she's like, I don't know you like that.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil the ending. She doesn't pay her back.
Ooh, I think you're right.
We never get that.
But Eliza does give her a deal. He's like, don't you want to have the room all to yourself again?
She immediately picks up the phone.
Immediately she goes,
and Ty, what'd she say?
Would you like window or aisle seating?
Beautiful.
And I was like, okay, she's got her.
And then the best part is we cut to Eliza not at a window or an aisle, right in the middle of the plane.
Yes.
So she kind of gets the last laugh.
Well, okay, so yeah, you're right. But she didn't want to give the middle seat to Darwin because they didn't want to do that. And apparently they had to portray him. He still got to wear Sarah's clothes.
He did. And I think it was a good trade-off for her. She really wanted that solitude.
She did. But I love how like they're doing the passports. Yep, exactly. And so he's actually using Sarah's.
Right
Sean is actually pushing his nose up to look like the stuck-up nose Sarah that Darwin was trying to go for. And they're like, yeah, that sounds about right. And they let Darwin in with the passport.
It's that easy, guys.
It was that easy.
If you want to get onto a plane as someone else, change your nose.
Yeah.
With your hand.
Show an air of confidence and just change your nose.
It's like you're playing poker, for example, at a Comedy Zone.
Mm-hmm.
You think you got it straight? You just tell that TSA agent, this is a fucking royal flush. And that agent will look you in the eyes, those confident eyes, and say, okay, you know what? You're right. And you make sure that smoky smoke is still there before someone blows it away.
Yeah.
Oh, that bitch.
But yeah, so she's flying, and then she is on a train, and we cut to Eliza's family. They're like heading out. They're trying to find. So we kind of bypass this. Nigel had told Eliza what he's doing is he's going to go to this area where this lunar eclipse was going to happen, or solar eclipse. You're right. Solar eclipse was going to happen because the last time that happened, thousands of forest elephants walked through and no one knows why. So she knows where they're going to be. And we cut to Debbie is just sitting there miserable that like when she hears that Eliza's making friends, she's making friends? Like she is so mad and jealous. And then we get Mumsy and the Colonel kind of just parachuting in.
As they'll do.
Like, and that was one of the other things too, is that Mumsy was a pilot apparently. Like you saw her like get ready to fly the plane.
It tracks.
So, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And it's like Eliza has run away from the school, and we're gonna catch her and drag her back.
Well, they're gonna try.
And this is where like it gets to me again, because then you get Marianne and Nigel like, "Oh, Debbie, what are you doing? Do I hear someone with you?" And that's when Mumsy's like, "Shh, don't tell them we're here." Like it's very much she's trying to parent behind their backs.
Again.
And I'm like, okay, step off.
Yo, you're doing too much.
Mm-hmm. Like, especially if you're trying to do it behind their back. Like, that's one thing to be like, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what you should do, and then we're going to do it. And then just do it behind their back. That just was like an extra low. That was a Sarah Wellington low.
Yeah. And then a big old snake bites her in the face, and she's done.
I don't want Mumsy to die.
Is that not what I saw on screen?
No.
Oh.
The snake attacked Debbie and
Sorry,
Boko.
I thought that's what you wanted.
No, I want her to stop, not to end.
I didn't say she died.
To get bit in the face by a snake, that's a hell of an end.
Depends on what the face part is. What if it's your earlobe?
That's even worse.
If
she gets poisoned in her ear, there's so many.
I didn't say it was a poisonous snake.
What other snake's going to be in the jungle?
A very benevolent ear-piercing snake comes along and bit her in the earlobe and said, "Bitch, you got a diamond in your ear now.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Now be nice to your grandchildren, your grandmumsies." That's what happened. That was a deleted scene.
Yeah. And so we now cut to Eliza's now on a train with Darwin, and she sees a rhino who's like caught in a net. And he's like, "I've been shot. Help, I've been shot." And she's able to jump off the train to then go help. And so that's when you get this couple, Sloane and Bree, who claim to be like humanitarian veterinarians that are there to help.
We're introduced to them as
that's how they're introduced. Mm-hmm. I got bad vibes from them right off the bat. Immediately.
Yeah. We didn't know why yet.
We didn't know why. But then you have like the patrol come in and they're like, "Oh, we're going to take them to the rhino sanctuary." And that's when Eliza sees the falcon knife. She goes, "Oh, this is the poacher's knife." And I guess Sloane takes it to track.
Track
the poacher or whatever it was. I don't know. So she's now heading back, and they offer to give her a ride. She goes, "No, our camp's just down over here." And as she's going through, she finds the camp, but Mom and Dad aren't there. They already started traveling to get to the site.
Right.
And Debbie's...
Because now we're at... When she went to boarding school, it was 2 weeks until the solar eclipse.
Yeah.
And now almost 2 weeks has passed. We're about, a day away?
So this was something that was brought up that I was like, hey, it was 2 weeks away, but then, like, literally she spends one night at the boarding school, one night traveling, one night camping, and, like, it was like, they were trying to say it was this, but I also don't think the boarding school started as soon as she, like, traveled. I think it would have been she went to England, got things ready, and then she went to boarding school. And by the time she went to boarding school, it was like a week or two later.
Also, I assume it probably took a few days for her to get set up to go to boarding school.
Yeah, like she had to get registered. So, it had
the
been some
timeline
time.
makes sense. Yeah.
To me, it did.
Yeah.
And so basically, this is the day before the eclipse now, when she's finally back at camp. And Debbie is, of course, like, ooh, little boarding school dropout. And she's like, "Where's Mom and Dad? I don't have time for this shit." She goes, "Well, they're gone." She goes, "Fine, I'm going to go get on the radio." I was like, I wouldn't do that.
Eliza barely says hi to her.
Yeah. Doesn't give a fuck about her sister, because it was very much like, you got me in trouble. You can fuck all the way off.
Mm-hmm.
And so she opens the van anyway, and there's Mumsy and Colonel fast asleep in the middle of the day, which is typical.
I get it.
Yeah. It's a stereotype, but it's true.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like Mumsy and Colonel.
Yeah. I like a good nap during the daytime.
Love a good nap during the daytime.
Love a good nap.
Especially if it's in the desert
Yeah.
jungle.
And the desert jungle, which
Next
is
to
why we have
cactuses.
prickly pear
Yes.
with pineapple
It's
in
so
line.
delicious.
It is so damn good.
Oh, we'll be taking a break here in a few, Ty.
And then we'll get banana bread.
And more alcohol in this glass.
Yay!
It's going to be great.
So finally, she decides she's going to go after her, and Debbie's like, no, you're not going. You're not going to let me get in trouble or leave me alone now. And that's when Donnie has escaped and is running around, and Debbie gets stripped and gets trapped in a cage.
Yeah, she gets trapped in a cage. And where did the cage come from? Whose cage was that?
I don't know whose cage that was.
I guess it doesn't matter, does it?
It was just there. Maybe it was there to...
Maybe it was Donnie's sleeping pen.
It was maybe Donnie's sleeping pen. But anyways, so she's trying to get the key from Donnie, ends up following, is able to grab the key, and she ends up taking the motorbike to go get her sister. But she gets lost.
Super, super lost.
Super quickly, too. And so we cut to Eliza, and she realizes she's talking to an animal who was saying, like, there's an electric fence over there. And she's like, oh no, the poachers are trying to corral the elephants.
Right.
That's when, like, we got our ad.
The Lady Cordelia School for Overbearing Mumsies. Your children now have children. But aren't they still just your children? Never mind that you raise them to be the best of your abilities, because they will always need your guidance as they strive to raise your grandchildren. Are they not disciplining to your standards? Take charge and state what needs to happen, disguised as advice for what you feel is best for them. Did your child marry someone who doesn't accept your authority? Override her choice by telling others not to mention your present. All this and more when you enroll into the Lady Cordelia School for Overbearing Mumsies, an esteemed institution that has taught mumsies through many generations to be the most respected of mumsies.
Use coupon code for...
Try again, dearest. You do better when you're not drinking.
Use coupon code MUMSY20 for 20% off your first grandchild.
Mumsies are for life. Whiskeylodeon. 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 Whiskeylodeon.
My peanut butter is like lava flowing off this peanut butter.
Oh my goodness.
I said my peanut butter is like lava flowing off this peanut butter, off this banana bread.
I gotta say, so Sean, of course, had banana bread, like you said, and he didn't just take banana bread, he topped it with peanut butter,
You have to.
which by all means, I agree, but then he microwaved it, and the peanut butter becomes this molten lava that just coats your mouth in decadence, and
What you getting there, bud?
it is so damn good, because that banana bread's like super, super nice and crisp. And by crisp, I don't mean like it's a crunchy. It's like it's still very chewy, but it's like it's a very clean banana bread.
Yeah, this needed to happen.
It did, and holy shit, that peanut butter just takes another level. Mm-hmm. Now, you thought this was going to pair well, so I want to try it.
It does.
I'm surprised.
Why?
Well, because when I think of pineapple, when I think of prickly pear, when I think of ginger, I can think of banana pairing well. So when you said banana bread, I was like, oh yeah, but I don't typically pair peanut butter. And you know what I think it is? I think the peanut butter, the fat is coating the tongue.
I was going to say exactly
and
that.
then the alcohol's kind of cutting through and just opening these flavors even more. Oh,
All of this
Sean,
was missing the
you
fat flavor. The
brilliant
fat
genius.
flavor profile. Hey, I've learned some things in the last 2 seasons. Also, peanut butter is just good with anything.
Oh, peanut butter is just great with anything.
I'm not going to act like I knew that was going to be fat flavor. It's fucking peanut butter. It's going to be good.
It is so damn good. Oh, My heart is full.
And that's the season, guys, because we have to go eat
We
this
are
peanut.
so happy.
We're done.
Yeah,
We're
we
done.
did it. We did
That's
it.
it. We're going to go eat peanut butter banana bread. Are you? Because if you're not, we'll eat your peanut butter bread. Banana. Mumsy's choice.
Mumsy's choice.
Well,
man.
we've hit some beats in this movie, and we got a few more to go.
We have. So I think where we left off is we now have Debbie who's going through the jungle at night and ends up kind of getting her motorbike, her bicycle, whatever, her motorcycle.
Baby Mumsy Mobile.
Yes, the baby Mumsy Mobile gets stuck in a swamp. And she ends up getting saved by Boko and this local African tribe.
Boko.
And like at first I'm like, is she gonna be like their new queen? Like what is going on? Because like literally he helps her, and then like they all like kind of bring her in with her. Like they're like, you're coming with us, even though we don't speak your language. Like they just immediately like welcome her with open arms. So maybe like Queen wasn't it, but it was like, hey, you're gonna be part of our tribe now. Welcome to the family. And of course she's like super grateful, but she's also like, I don't know how to talk to any of you. And she's able to find a way to communicate with Boko. And so he ends up giving her like a tribal skirt that she can wear. And then in return, she ends up giving
Which she literally goes, I look hot in this.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
All right. And so in return, she gives him, Boko, her super cool watch that beeps and is waterproof.
It was, I think it was the first generation of the Apple Watch.
Yes. And so she teaches him the word gift. So he can say Debbie, he can say gift. And so finally she's like, okay, well, I got to find my sister somehow. And they actually had pulled out her motorcycle, her Mumsy Mobile, her mini Mumsy Mobile. And like, oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome. And then she's getting ready to leave. And the chief's like, dude, what are you doing? Go with her. So he hops in the sidecar and she goes, okay, Boko, it's not that I don't think you're cute. You are, but I got to go help my family. And as she's talking to him, she's kind of stopped looking at him. And there is actually the snake that was trying to go for Mumsy, but it's not going for Debbie. And
this is not an ear-piercing, benevolent snake. This snake will not just give you a little diamond in your earlobe.
He was ready to kill. And so Boko ends up like strangling him, like fighting him off, throwing him in the bushes.
One of those murder snakes.
Those murder snakes. And that's when it was like, yeah, you can come with me. And so they drive off into the distance. Mm-hmm. We are now cutting back to Eliza, who had ended up stumbling upon Sloane and Bree. And they're like, yeah, we're trying to help save these elephants too. And why don't you just stay with us in the meantime? You can't really do anything. It's nighttime, and we'll help out together.
She's like, but the poachers will be going right now. And they're like, the poachers won't go at night.
It's nighttime.
It's nighttime.
So she goes to bed. She's got Donnie and Darwin with her. And then when they wake up, Donnie's missing. He's nowhere to be found. So they ended up finding that he went inside their camper.
Their version of their Mumsy Mobile.
Yes, their version of the Mumsy Mobile. The metal Mumsy Mobile.
That's
sounded like Metal Mario.
Yeah, but Metal Mumsy.
Yeah, Metal Mumsy Mobile.
Yeah.
And that's when they realize that, oh no, these guys are the poachers. And they actually find Tally. But then Sloane's back goes, you sons of bitches found out, didn't you?
Yeah.
And that's when they trap them, tie them up. But Debbie and...
Worst villains ever, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, not ever, but they suck.
Yes. I also was a little heartbroken because I found out who voiced Bree, Marissa Tomei. And I was like, no, that's a terrible example for Peter Parker.
They're actors.
They are, I know. And I will get over it, but it just...
You do a
it broke my
podcast
heart.
on pop culture.
Pop culture.
Ty Longworth. Come on.
Sean Beck.
Yeah, my name doesn't work. I got two syllables to work with all day, baby. You get what you get, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
E, A, and E. There's no other... You don't have an O to kind of... Oh.
Those aren't syllables, those are vowels.
Yes, that's what I said.
That's not what I said.
Oh, well, oops.
Mr. Prince Gabriel Ty Longworth the 12th, Facebook.com. I mean, it's fine. I mean, look, she's a villain in this one.
She is, and I don't get over it, but it still broke my heart.
But it didn't break your heart that, old Nigel Thornberry is also Pennywise the Clown?
But that's also Tim Curry. I've expected Tim Curry to be Pennywise.
You don't think Marissa Tomei can play a villain?
Not at all. I think you're putting words in my mouth as I put peanut butter and banana bread in my mouth, too.
Yeah, well, I put words on that peanut butter before you ate them.
Fair enough. I'm saying I'm used to her playing the good person, so when I see her playing the bad person, and I'm like, oh,
okay,
that hurts.
so it's when it's the other way around.
Yeah, when they're typically bad and they play a good person, I'm like, oh, they got range.
But when they typically play good, and then they play bad, it's not the same.
It's like, I got tricked. I was happy. I was like, oh, they're in here too. That's super cool. Oh, no, they're the bad guy.
Sweet, sweet man.
Like Kristen Bell. If Kristen Bell played a villain, I would be like heartbroken. Like I'd be like, oh, you tricked me. I had such I thought of you as the hero.
Okay. What about Tom Holland then? Actual Spider-Man himself.
Yeah, if I saw him as a villain, I'd be like, oh no, because he's got that cute little baby face.
He does have a cute little baby face.
So for him to be villainous, I'm like, oh. I might just be impressed with that one.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first.
I've had alcohol. Don't judge.
No. We're not going to judge you. Judge him. Judge us. It's fine.
It's fine.
Well, they are bad villains.
They are. They're douchey.
They just do dumb things, though, too. I mean, because they tie Eliza up.
Yeah.
And they tie Donnie and Darwin up.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't put sweet little baby kitten back in the cage.
Well, they didn't get a chance to. Because at that point, as they're tying her up, that's when their alarms go off because Debbie and Boko are coming in.
Got it. Okay.
So I
missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that.
So they're, of course, like, shit. So they come out like, oh, hello. How can we help you? And like, oh, I'm here to find my sister.
Immediately like, fuck you, bitch.
Yes. There's like, oh, you know too much already.
He chokes her out, basically.
Yes. And Boko tries to help her and jumps on the guy. And he ends up getting body slammed against the metal Mumsy mobile.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, Tally's able to come and just rip those off. And so that's when
Eliza unties Eliza's.
Rip the rope bandages off.
It's cool. I'll be your blank filler.
Thank you.
I will fill your blanks.
Aw. Well, you filled the blank in my heart.
Oh, it's like a void.
Mm-hmm. That's why you're part of our
But I will
nanny.
swim in that void. I will do the breaststroke of your heart.
I will breaststroke through your
I will
void.
froggy paddle right through your cardiac. Arrest me with your love.
I will accidentally pee in your void. And
What? When did we get to peeing in each other's voids?
Well, I mean, you were treated like a pool. It's like, all right, wow.
I don't think so. But I could see, I think listening back to this, maybe. Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I'm okay. I'm here for it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to fill each other's voids with
We're just going to
peas.
pee in
We're talking
in
about
the
peas.
void. Yeah.
The same way Darwin did on Sarah Wellington's bed. We're going to pee your void. All right.
But anyway, so Eliza comes out and is like, let my sister go. And Sloane's like, all right, bitch, you need to tell me. Because when he had tied her up, he was trying to figure out, you know way too much.
Right.
Who's your informant?
Who told you about this fence?
Who told you about the fence? Who told you about this? She had found out about explosives.
Yeah, she's like, no one did.
I made
explosives.
guesses.
He's like, explosives? How do you know about that?
I didn't say anything about explosives.
Yeah.
And he's getting ready to not only choke out Debbie, but throw her over a ravine.
She gonna die.
She gonna die. And so that's when Eliza finally makes the ultimate sacrifice, and she admits, I can talk to animals.
And we all know what happens if she tells the truth about that.
She loses her gift. But she doesn't just lose it as in that she can no longer talk. No. There's a storm. There's magical energy surrounding her. Just
it's
kind
a
of,
tempest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, like, they didn't even have a chance to be like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, they just made it like, oh, there's a fucking storm. We got to get out of here.
Which is important because I think if it was any other way,
they'd
it's like the reverse of her getting that power, which we see in the intro of the show. Like, we see her get that with like a storm kind of whirling around.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't that way, they would have just been like, okay, you're weird. We're going to throw your
Okay.
sister over this.
Thanks for lying.
Thanks for lying.
Bye, sister.
See you, Debbie. Yeah, you just go.
Yeah, it needed that dramatic to be like, oh shit, she might be real.
Right.
So now Debbie is like, holy crap, wait, you can talk to animals? I knew it. And so she's like, well, I know that Darwin's doing this, so you need to tell him da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, Debbie, I can't talk to animals anymore. I lost my gift. And that's when Debbie was like, wait, you sacrificed your gift for me? And immediately, like, you can just tell her, she's like, oh, I've been such a dick.
Yeah. That was a nice moment.
That was a nice moment. That was a tender moment. It's like, even though you didn't talk to me as soon as you came back home, like you didn't do all this stuff, you still care for me. And it was a very sweet and tender moment.
Yeah. Again, like
To be interrupted by a waterfall.
Yeah, which, they survive off screen.
They do.
We see the waterfall. They're like, oh, God, guys, we got to figure something out. And then they cut to the waterfall, and then they just kind of like tilt up, and then you see them all hanging by branches.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? They've been through a lot of crazier shit.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
I was okay.
This is fine.
So we finally cut to Nigel, who's now with Marianne and Mumsy and the Colonel. And they're all trying to go through, and they see the electric fence. They see poachers.
We're in this valley, right?
Yes, we're now in the valley. And so they see the fence. They see the poachers setting explosives. And like, okay, shit, we got work to do. Push it, like run it, pedal to the metal. And Eliza's kind of having a little pity party.
But
She can't really do anything. She's lost her power. She sees the elephants. She sees the electric fence, and she can't figure out what she can do.
how am I supposed to talk to these elephants and tell them
How
not
can
to
I
do
help
this?
them?
I don't have my power anymore.
Exactly.
What do you want me to do about it?
And Debbie was like, all right, well, got to shut this down. Girl, bruh. Like, what? Is bruh gender neutral?
Bruh?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So she's like, bruh, like, you got to pull yourself together. You've done a lot of crazy things. It's okay. And she goes, I have done some crazy things. And she thinks of another crazy idea. She was like, elephants know when you're trying to help them. Which kind of...
Let's cut back to the very first act.
Yes.
She is on the back of...
It's the very first scene.
It's the very first scene. She's on the back of one of her friends,
An elephant.
And the elephant kind of walks her through how to communicate with an elephant.
Yes.
There's a way that you can kind of like tug or kick or nudge behind an ear, and that would say like, hey, turn this way.
Yeah.
As long as it's the pack leader, right?
Right.
Cool. And that's some information that I didn't realize we were going to get later, which we will get to later.
Yeah. So she climbs down and she's trying to like get the elephants to turn around. She's trying to get their attention, but they're not paying attention. It's just a little girl who can't talk their language. They're like, whatever. And then like she climbs on one of them, and then the explosives go off. And they get scared. They start running. And so she's sitting there.
Towards the fence.
Yes. And this is like an electric fence, so it's going to like instantly kill them if it hits it. Maybe not instantly, but it will kill them.
Yeah.
And so that's when she remembers, oh, I can do this. So then she pushes behind the ear, and the elephant she's riding kind of like jumps up. No, that didn't even happen yet. No. What she does is she takes the pendant. Oh, we missed this too.
I love what's happening right now. I'm watching Ty just spiral into a spiral. If you can see a spiral go into another spiral, in betwixt 12 spirals, I got to see that. You got to hear it.
So we've missed a couple things. One, when Eliza was being sent to boarding school, her dad gave her his pendant, like this little medal he got
What did it
for
say,
bravery.
Ty? For bravery.
And
Award for
apparently,
bravery.
Apparently, what he did when he was in boarding school is there was a burning fire, and he ran in and saved like 20 kids.
And he was very humble about it. The way he
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It wasn't bragging. It was like somewhere around like 20, whatever. But the point is, like, I wanted to help people. And you want to help people. You want to help animals. That's where you get that from. You can be brave. And I want to give you this to remind you of that until then. And now it's then. And she grabs that pendant. She chucks it at the electric fence, which, of course, causes it to shock. And the elephant's like, what the fuck?
Like, well, we're definitely not going that way.
Yes. And so that's when she's trying to get him changed. And so she's able to then get the elephants to turn because she's remembered to like put pressure on one ear, and they start turning and going away, and all the pictures like, they're turning away, what do we do? And they're like, shoot them. We're like, but there's a girl there. It's like, I'll take care of the girl.
He's like, fuck it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
He literally flies his helicopter down, grabs her and is like throws her off into a river. And then
It's so violent.
it is so
Like
violent.
the things that they do, I actually think they're painting poachers in the exact way that they would be.
As they should.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm like, fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's
I'm a little
that's
angry.
when the elephants.
See these nips?
I do. Ooh, they're getting hard.
That's Chipotle coming out of them.
Ooh.
Is Chipotle a brand?
It is a brand. It's also
what's
a
the chili? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Not the brand.
Yeah, Chipotle is a chili.
Chipotle the chili. How have you not sponsored us by now? Have you not seen these areolas?
Habanero the chili. How have you not sponsored
My
us?
God, it's like get a fire detergent. It's detergent. Spray me, Ty. Yeah, and I'll fill your void with peas if you spray me with your fire detergent.
That was amazing. Equally as amazing, I'm just going to go ahead and say that when the elephants then grab that rope bridge that they reinstalled and pulls that helicopter down.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, that was a beautiful thing. And then we get the shamans waiting for Eliza. She comes out and she's like, I couldn't save them. And he goes, hey, bitch, you did. Look,
Yeah.
bitch. And so she's able to see that she's able to save them. And he goes, if you are able to save them without your powers, then even I can't imagine how great your destiny is. And he gives her gift back.
Yes, which we were hoping for the whole time.
Yes. And finally, we get to the elephants. They have all surrounded Sloan and Bree. And it looks like they're about to die. They about to go. But then the authorities come in and like, nope, we're going to arrest you. See you guys. Bye.
Fine. It's a kid's show.
Yes.
You can't have elephants just stomping on poachers.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it.
But then we finally get to the shaman's like, so about your sister, how well is she able to keep a secret? We got a condition now.
It's a good teaser for the very last scene.
Yes. And so we finally come in. They're back together. She brings Tally back home.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very sweet.
And so yeah, the mom with the other two cubs, just
Old
like
Mumsy Cougar
Cheetah.
really was already yeah. She's
Cheetah Mumsy.
since the beginning of the podcast, she was a cheetah, now she's a cougar.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how age works in podcast land.
That's how species change during the podcast.
Yeah, all species.
Or maybe it was
They get
just age.
upgraded.
Maybe it's a cougar cheetah.
It's a cougar cheetah, Mumsy.
Yeah, a cheetah cougar mumsy.
Cheetah cougar Mumsy. Yeah. And she's all like, oh, wow, I thought you were dead.
Yeah, she's super happy. And so like Eliza keeps saying like,
I
I am
was
so sorry. And she goes, I know you are. But Tally's okay and is home.
What a way to accept an apology.
Yes. That
Like,
was a gracious
She doesn't
acceptance.
say it's okay. Because I do that all the time, Ty.
You do that?
Yeah, of course. I'm like, it's okay. When in reality, it's like, it's her response was, I think, something we can learn from.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You
I
don't-
know you are.
You don't have to be like, hey, you don't have to downplay the severity of what happened, but you can let them know that like it's okay. I know.
It's okay if you messed up.
I know you're sorry.
You still did the right thing. Your
But you
your
made things
intentions were
right.
pure. Yeah. You made things right. And it's a very tender moment.
It's a very tender moment.
Yeah. And they get to reunite, and they're just little happy little baby Dales.
Yeah. And so finally, she's able to reunite with Darwin because apparently she had a big fight with Darwin.
The very last thing that she says to Darwin before she loses her powers was what, Ty? Do you remember that?
Be quiet.
Yeah.
Well, Darwin was getting sassy. He was literally trying
Darwin's
to blame
always been
her.
sassy, but
yeah,
this was
this
a
was
new
like
level.
he's blaming her as like this is all your fault. If you would not have gone past the tree, none of this would have happened.
Right.
And in all honesty, I mean, if they would barely pass the tree, I feel like it would have happened regardless.
Yeah, I don't think anything is to blame there, but circumstance.
He wanted someone to blame.
Yeah, so that was the last thing she got to say to Darwin was basically shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and she wanted to make up, but she couldn't say anything until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And Darwin was just going to hang out with some water buffalo. He was just going to be like, I'm going to just hang with other animals. I hope you like me. He's like, Darwin! And she's like, you can talk!
Yeah.
And they hug. And then as they're walking back home, You see dad and mom, they're filming something
Well,
with
right
baboons.
before that, if I can, you have a really sweet moment between Dad and Eliza, kind of on the cliffside, talking about the reason that the elephants did this whole trek. Yes.
Do you want to go into that?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like, what I can recall through whiskey and 24 hours of having watched, it was this idea of change.
Yeah, the dad was like, I wish I could understand why. Why is it during this solar eclipse that they're like, we're all going to come together through this? And that's when Eliza's like, I think it's because of change. And that through change, they can be safe if they're together.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was on the nose as far as how, the Thornberrys should and will act as a team unit.
Yeah.
Wow.
You heard it, but I got to see like Sean in a spiral, in a spiral, in a spiral.
I was, Ty sucked me into his spirals just there. But it was a beautiful moment. And you got to see that mirror image of like the elephants and the Thornberrys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite parts is that she's basically has this rekindled relationship with Debbie. And Debbie's like super excited to know that she can talk to animals. And so she's like, hey, so I did get my powers back, but there was one condition.
Because Debbie's kind of prying.
Yeah.
Debbie's like, what? I mean, like, now that I know your secret, like, what if I feel like telling somebody?
Well, the one condition was if you were to tell anyone, you would be turned into a baboon. And just walks
runs
off.
away.
Yeah. He goes, what? I'm not going to be so with a purple butt. And as they're basically filming a documentary or filming their show on the baboons, and then like suddenly, I'm worried that this is now a Nickelodeon movie trend, because they have the dance number.
Well, so I'm thinking about the dance number.
Mm-hmm.
This was a trend for a while, not just Nickelodeon. I bet you could do a top 100 films that have a dance number at the end. Yes, Nickelodeon. But
Nickelodeon was just following the trend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know, because we talked about Harriet the
Harriet Spy.
Spy.
Mhm.
Is that what you're thinking?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the dance number. And it's like, okay.
And they're all shaking their booties. And you got Donnie pulling wedgies.
He
They're doing
is just
the wedge
giving
dance.
everyone wedgies.
Everyone.
Including himself.
Yeah. And we gotta say, Nigel is pretty thick.
Nigel, Ty, what's your favorite dessert? You like Nigel cake?
I do like Nigel cake.
Well, he's got it.
He's got it.
Yeah.
By the pant load.
By the pant load.
Like he's got a bubble butt. He got that booty.
Yeah. I mean, and this is how the movie ends.
And this is how the
A lot
movie
of butt
ends.
stuff.
A lot of baboon butts. A lot of butt dancing. Donnie taking center stage. And,
yeah.
And the end.
The end. That's the Wild Thornberrys movie.
That was the Wild Thornberrys. It was wild.
So was this season, Ty.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Some highlights that you can think of.
Ooh, having Julian Hester on as a guest, having Bailey Jones
And
as
Julian
a guest.
Hester, his podcast.
Yes, What's in My Head podcast. Absolutely check it out.
Yeah. You mentioned our friend Bailey. Mm-hmm. That was a couple weeks ago. We had Brad last week from Jedi Talk.
Yes.
That was great. Our friend Daniel Hamby.
You got to
we did
watch
Last
Avatar
Airbender.
Last Airbender.
That feels like that was months and months ago.
And you finally finished the series.
I did.
What'd you think?
Oh, man. Well, we already talked about it.
Well, I mean, you didn't finish the series when we were
Hell
recording.
yeah, I did finish the series when we were recording.
Oh, you finished the whole thing? Oh,
No,
shit.
you're right. That was later.
Yeah, that was later.
That was.
'Cause
Oh, yeah. I loved it. Of course. Of course.
I remember. I got to share this because we were basically just
Yeah,
living
y'all were
our
walking on
separate
eggshells
lives.
the whole time around me.
We didn't want to spoil it, but like a week later, I'm sitting there just minding my business, and I get a random text from Sean. He goes, "What the fuck? There's blood bending!" And I smiled so big that made my heart so full.
Yeah. Nothing makes Ty smile like a little bit of blood bending. Yeah. It's been a hell of a season, though.
It's been a hell of a season, man.
This is it.
This is it.
Until whenever the next one happens.
Yeah. We're gonna do a little break to kind of give ourselves a break and plan out. But we got some plans, man.
Well, we want to do some fun things in betwixt now
Yes.
and next season. We've got some feedback that you guys are enjoying our ads. Now, we would love some real ads.
Yes.
For reasons of monetary reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still going to do these ads, these fake ads for you. And Ty, what are we going to do with them?
I think we're gonna do a little a voting poll.
Yeah.
A poll of votes.
A poll of votes, a vortex of votes.
So we're gonna put out all of our ads, and we're gonna say, hey, which one do you like the most?
And then you guys will decide, and then that will be that.
And that'll be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing that will come of that other than like, they like that one.
That was the one that won.
Yeah. And that'll be nice. That'll give us it'll inform us on some feedback. Yeah.
They'll give us a little feedback on that. But yeah, let us know, because we have some plans already of what we want to cover in season 3. Like, we want to cover Hey Dude, Salute Your Shorts. I think, we're going to cover SpongeBob.
We have to cover SpongeBob now.
Yes.
It's about time.
It's about time.
There's some game shows we'll probably want to.
Yeah, we got some undisclosed game shows we got to cover.
I know Wienerville might be in there. I don't know.
It could be.
Yeah, we'll do some Let's Get Weird again.
And yes, of course. And we're going to have our resident psychologist, Dr. Leah Chardon, back on the show.
Yes.
Oh,
we
so
actually,
excited.
speaking of Avatar,
Yeah. So the episode we're going to do is The Psychology of Prince Zuko.
I'm excited about that one.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But if there's other shows you want us to cover, let us know. Take the time. We'll put out a post on Instagram, and you can just let us know, hey, I would love for you guys to cover this show. I've missed it. I wish you guys would cover it. Why haven't you covered it? And we'll be like, well, why haven't you donated to our Patreon? And no, we're still going to cover it. But yeah, I'm super excited for what's coming next.
I am too. There's a lot to come next.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. I don't know, unless elephant steps on one of our heads.
If that's how we get canceled, I'm going to be really sad.
Honestly, if that's how we get canceled, that's pretty badass, Ty.
Oh, why'd you stop podcasting? I got stepped on by an elephant.
I don't think you get to say words after you get stepped on by an elephant. That's it. That's it. Your last words were right before that. Yeah, you don't get a second chance elephant stomping. Are you looking at my banana bread?
I was taking a look at your banana bread. I was like, that does look so good, but I still have some
You
of
still
mine.
have some? I'm like, dude, eat your own fucking banana bread.
Well, it was the glistening of the peanut butter, and I was like, that is such a work of beauty.
Well, I'm going to eat that work of beauty.
And I'm going to eat my work of beauty.
We won't do
And
bottoms
then I
up
want
with...
to pee into the void of your heart.
Yes, that's all I've ever wanted. And there you have it. And there
Yeah.
you have it.
We did it, guys.
Another season is over, and I have learned nothing because I have a lot more to drink of this sweet, sweet cactus juice. Ty, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
You've been a pleasure, my friend.
I think by the time we start season 3, it'll have been a whole year
Oh, shit,
of
you're right.
Whiskeylodeon. Please tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Tell your mumsies.
Tell your mumsies. Well, okay, maybe not your mumsies. Mumsies, if you're listening to this, what are you doing?
I don't know. Why can't mumsies listen to our podcast?
Well, because I'm thinking about our mumsies.
Yeah, so
Okay,
we're
so
conflating.
our mumsies, if you're listening to this, what are you doing? If
Yeah.
you're just a mumsy, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. You got a few episodes to listen to before this. You might hate us and then hate us. Or you might love us, and then you may want an elephant to stomp on our faces.
But if you want us to continue, then we just got 2 words to say for you. Bottoms up. Yeah, you finish that, you sexy bitch.